the other thing was, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the Board of Finance, but a little disappointed in some of the people who might have done a little end around on the Board of Selectmen, which said that they weren't going to do that. And so we'll see how that goes, which I think is just causing a rift that really didn't need to be caused. So, because it's probably going to, now it's probably going to get shot down and all the work done, and then where are you going to go first? Right there. So we'll see what happens. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the Board of Finance meeting was a little disturbing the other night, because it doesn't appear as if they are analytical about budgets for the most part. They don't seem to look at the pieces that go into the puzzle. I mean, the most outspoken person on the Board of Finance's argument for promoting the Board of Education budget was that they had worked so hard to put that budget together. I'm sorry, sitting and looking at figures and adding on more figures is not the hardest work in the world. As a matter of fact, I would find it very easy to do if somebody handed me a budget and said, what do you want, as opposed to what do you need. During the course of that meeting, I sat and added up the personnel that the Board of Education has, and the difference between the number of personnel they had last year and this year is 12.7. It's not a guidance counselor, it's not 2 coaches, it's not a business manager. There are 12 more employees listed, if you add up the totals, than there were last year. I mean, they've turned, it's not employees, it's time periods of people. Like they've taken paraprofessionals and added pieces of days on. It's here and there, and it's throughout their cost centers. But it comes to, I believe it's 12.7. And in this time of declining enrollment and tighter money, and yet to be even tighter money, why are they expanding? Why are they doing this to the Clinton school system? They're undermining their own credibility is what they're doing at the end of the day. And hard work is going out and digging holes in the dirt. Hard work is not sitting there in a warm room with a pen saying, oh, I'd like to have a full-time para over here.
As far as the budget, again, the other night, a little disappointed. I thought we had, particularly with the police budget and the police commission and the chief and the end around, they pulled. I made a veiled threat at the meeting last Tuesday, and it's not a threat. I just don't expect to see him here asking for anything at the Board of Selectmen level, because we had figured out a solution for them to alleviate the problem somewhat, and then at the end of the day end up with another guy without adding $54,000 to the operating budget of the police department. And then, as I explained to you the other night, it's not the $54,000, it's the $6,000-7,000 for the pension, it's the $1,500 for workman's comp, $2,000 for Social Security, and then the $20,000 for health insurance. So you're closer to $95,000. It's not $53,000. So I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed with the Board of Finance.
Can I make a comment there too?
Yeah.
The thing that continues to be distracting about the police department budget, that they have made some avenues into, is the fact that they talk about how exhausted the police are, the patrolmen are, and yet there are several people who get huge amounts of overtime every month, and people that do not get any overtime.
The new
The new contract will help remediate that, but that, I mean, you can't overlook that fact.
On most of it though, the volunteer stuff, there's a lot of guys that just won't take it anyway. Regardless of what the contract is, the voluntary overtime, that does shift from the seniority to rotation. But there's a lot of them that won't take the voluntary overtime. They don't want to work overtime unless they're ordered in. But then, you know, the way it works.
Some guys will take every time.
Some guys will take everything they can. Of course, especially the guys who are getting closer to retirement.
So it makes their numbers.
Those are the older guys too, though, that don't have little kids. It's when you've got those little kids at home and these younger crowds, it's very hard to find.
So it's skewed, if you look at those charts that they were showing, it's very skewed as far as that. It's not all of them, it's probably less than half the department. So,
And the guys at the highest ones would not complain.
no, they don't complain. They'll make a comment here or there. I know when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna be on for 16 hours, but usually that's because, yeah. So I was pretty upset, as anybody who was there probably noticed. But, it is what it is. I'm going to police commission Monday night. Two things. One, we have to form a committee for the contract for the 4-2. I don't know if anybody wants to get on that.
I'm gonna be there Monday night too, so.
All right. Well, I don't know if any selectmen are willing to participate in that committee. You're gonna do it? All right. Well, next week's meeting, we'll put on the agenda and appoint officially, because they need a member of the police commission and a member of the administrative area of the police department, which is only 2 people right now. And then the union's gonna designate 3. And also, which we had talked about at when we finalized about a committee to look at the command structure of the department. And I'm not letting that die.
Good.
Because as far as I know, if they don't have enough votes to approve appointing anybody or beginning the appointment process for a major, they don't have enough votes on that police commission to do that right now. I'm gonna go Monday night and recommend that we set this committee up.
Sounds good.
I'm not backing down, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Other than that, public hearing, April 9th is the public hearing for the budget. That gives us, till next week, we'll get the legal notice finished. I'm working on it, Mary's been working on it, we got all our, Chuck, Pete, Mary, everybody figured out, get all the formulas straightened out, and the damn thing's done, what happened to that over the last year or so. And so we'll get that out to the Harbor News, and after we finish it, we're gonna have a proof to make sure that our numbers are what they're supposed to be. Pretty close, pretty sure. But I got a couple years worth of audits over there that I'm looking at to put the numbers in. And then referendum, the Board of Finance meets the 21st to finalize and to go to referendum. I wouldn't be surprised that after the public hearing, that the $11,900 for the library goes back in. But right now, based on the rough numbers, and I'm waiting, I can't do much with the grand list other than where we think it is until the Board of Assessment Appeals is done. After that, it'll probably come down some. I don't expect it to come down a lot, but we're at a 0.9 mil increase right now.
At a what?
0.9, 9/10 of a mil. Other than in 2010, after the reval, when we had the 2.3 mil adjustment because of the property values dropping, we've never had a mill rate since I've been in going up more than a half. So it's pretty discouraging, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they have a magic wand they can use to get people to go out and vote. But the fact that they wanted to, without actually having any knowledge how surplus works and how the budget process worked, that they were just arbitrarily some people want to arbitrarily throw the $200-something thousand back into the Board of Ed budget, not realizing that nothing was cut.
Right.
That they were just, we spent down that surplus and get the stuff now versus put it into the budget, it befuddles me. And particularly when people are on the Board of Finance, they don't even know how the stuff works. So, and then to be told that that was random in some of the cuts that we made, when we spent 3 times more time on the budget than the Board of Finance did, I took great offense to that. They're lucky I didn't send out an email.
I think you're doing it right there. When
They think I'm sitting at the table just making
Just
decisions.
sitting there.
Yeah.
But the whole
I
process.
got the wheel in the office, I spin it and throw darts.
But, well, it's nothing to get too upset with. I mean, I
I
understand.
don't get upset, because we work hard on this stuff.
I know.
All of us do.
I really,
know.
I know that, but, this is part of the conversation. That's what municipal budgets are in our form of government. And so it becomes up to the people. And if people are willing to put up with a point.
But Ray, it really depends on the people who are inside and have that inside knowledge to present working budgets.
No, I agree.
I mean, when you use
I
that,
agree with
it's
that.
up to the people argument, they're dealing with A or B.
Yeah.
They're not dealing with multiples and.
And then the perception is that we
Yes.
cut
Right, you should
budgets.
come to one of these
And I said
meetings
that
and
very
see
clearly,
what
we didn't
discussion
cut
is.
anybody's budget. Requests were reduced,
Yeah.
we didn't cut anybody's budget. Nobody's going into the year with less money than they had last year, unless that's what they presented.
I thought that what
Fire
we presented
Fire
was.
department presented that, the town clerk's is lower because of personnel, the tax collector's office is lower because of personnel. But,
I guess the point I'm trying to make was, I think that it's gonna be a hard budget to sell at the referendum, and that's just the process, and I know how
But-
people.
But it's frustrating to
Yeah,
keep
I know.
it'd be nice to do it once.
Yeah, of
It would
course.
be nice to have a passed budget the first time, it really would.
Well, yeah, I mean, up until 2010, you did pass that
Mhm.
budget. And
Yeah.
2010, 11, 12, 13,
Right.
you've been defeating budgets. And, I mean, the reason I've been doing what I've been doing is I'd like to see you pass a budget the first time.
Yeah.
I don't like to see these budgets. I'm out there working against these
That's not
budgets.
where it was.
But I'd really like to be out there working for the budget.
Yeah.
And they haven't presented one. They presented one, and sort of falsely, the education budget a few years ago. And the CTA came out in favor of it. So, I mean, you know, the taxpayers, I think, can try, or not necessarily blanketly against these budgets. And it's a shame another town's passing the first time of that. It's not good for the reputation of the town. I mean, it's really sad.
I agree. Yeah, I guess sometimes what it is perhaps is unrealistic expectations, but the economy is still very tight, and families really are struggling in town, and I think the vote at the referendum's going to reflect that.
Okay. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
second, all in favor?
I'll second
I didn't get to make a motion
Squeeze it in, it's like
today.
a boxing match, you know?